Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to present to you a fascinating exploration of mysticism versus exotericism in Freemasonry, what most Masons don't know. On this journey, we'll unveil some hidden truths behind Masonic traditions that often go unnoticed. Over the next few moments, we'll delve into the deeper aspects of Masonic knowledge, shedding light on what's often kept behind closed doors. So, let's get started and uncover these intriguing secrets together. Let's take a quick look at the contents of today's presentation. First, we'll start with an introduction to Freemasonry, giving you a foundation of what this ancient fraternity is all about. Then, we'll explore the structure of Masonic initiation, which is a central part of the journey for every member. After that, we'll delve into the mysticism that surrounds Freemasonry, a fascinating aspect that often sparks curiosity. Next, we'll examine the symbolism embedded in Masonic traditions, which carries deep meaning and history. We'll also look at the contrast between exoteric practices, which are more outward and public, and esoteric practices, which are more secretive and internal. Following that, I'll address some common myths and misconceptions that often cloud understanding of Freemasonry. Then, we'll hear from modern Masons about their personal experiences and what the fraternity means today. Finally, we'll wrap up with a conclusion that ties everything together and reflects on the broader significance of Freemasonry in the modern world. This outline will help us as we explore each topic in detail, connecting ideas and themes along the way. Let's begin by exploring the basics of Freemasonry and what it really stands for. Freemasonry is one of the oldest and most well-known fraternal organizations in the world. It's built on principles like brotherhood, moral uprightness, and personal development. This organization has a rich history that dates back centuries, and it has played a significant role in various cultural and historical contexts. At its core, Freemasonry is about bringing individuals together to improve themselves and their communities through shared values and ethical conduct. It's not just about secret rituals or symbols, but about fostering a sense of community and mutual support. Throughout this presentation, we'll see how these foundational ideas connect to the broader themes of influence and societal impact. Understanding Freemasonry helps us grasp how such organizations have shaped history and continue to influence modern society today. Let's delve into the origins of Freemasonry. Its roots are quite fascinating, intertwining with medieval guilds and even some of the ancient mystery schools. Essentially, it's a blend of moral philosophy and esoteric knowledge, which has helped shape the diverse traditions and rituals we see throughout history. When we look at how its rituals developed, it's clear they evolved from the practices of medieval guilds. These guilds used symbolic elements and teachings that weren't just about craft skills, they also conveyed moral and ethical lessons. Over time, these symbols and teachings became central to Freemasonry's identity, blending esoteric knowledge with principles that guide personal development. Now, an important aspect to consider is the influence of the Enlightenment. During this period, Freemasonry grew to emphasize reason, individualism, and secular thought, ideas that contrasted with traditional religious beliefs. This era helped shape Freemasonry into a unique blend of mysticism and rationalism, making it stand out as a philosophical and spiritual movement that encourages inquiry, moral growth, and intellectual freedom. All these elements, its ancient origins, the evolution of rituals, and the influence of Enlightenment thinking, are key to understanding the broader theme of Freemasonry as a tradition that combines moral development with esoteric knowledge, evolving through history to adapt to the changing intellectual landscape. Let's delve into what we mean by understanding exotericism. First, exoteric knowledge refers to teachings and practices that are accessible to everyone. These are the surface-level ideas and external rituals that anyone can observe or learn about without needing special initiation. It's important to recognize that while these outward expressions are visible, they often serve as gateways to deeper insights. Now, in Masonic ceremonies, we see this blending of exoteric teachings and rituals quite clearly. Symbols and allegories are used throughout these ceremonies, and although at first glance they might seem simple or straightforward, they actually convey much deeper moral and philosophical lessons. These deeper meanings are often reserved for those who are initiated into the more esoteric aspects of Freemasonry. Finally, the purpose of these exoteric practices is quite significant. They help us uphold core moral values, encourage community engagement, and make the teachings accessible to a broad range of members. This accessibility is vital because it fosters unity and promotes ethical behavior within the fraternity. So, in essence, exoteric knowledge and practices serve as both an entry point and a foundation for the deeper, more esoteric work that lies beneath. Now, let's take a closer look at the structure of Masonic initiation. This slide highlights the key components that make up the initiation process. First, it's important to understand that Masonic initiation is a highly symbolic and structured journey. It's designed to guide a candidate through various stages of personal and spiritual development. Each of these stages is carefully crafted to impart moral lessons and foster brotherhood. The structure is not random. It's deliberately organized to reflect broader themes of enlightenment and self-improvement. As we explore these key points, keep in mind that this process connects deeply to the overall theme of growth, knowledge, and unity within Freemasonry. The initiation isn't just about ceremony, it's about transformation. Let's take a closer look at the overview of the initiation process. This process isn't just a single event. It consists of various degrees, each representing a different stage of spiritual and moral development. What makes this particularly interesting is how it distinguishes between exoteric teachings, which are more outward and accessible, and esoteric insights, which are deeper and more hidden within Freemasonry. Moving on to the degrees themselves, they involve symbolic rituals, specific attire, and sacred objects. All of these elements are carefully designed to facilitate personal transformation, helping us grow morally and spiritually, and to convey deeper esoteric meanings that are central to Masonic tradition. Now, when we talk about ceremonial elements, the working tools are especially significant. These tools symbolize important moral and ethical lessons. They serve as guides, helping Masons move toward personal development and enlightenment. And of course, they reflect the broader mystical and esoteric teachings that underpin Freemasonry as a whole. So, in essence, each part of the initiation process is crafted to support our journey toward greater understanding and moral integrity. In this slide, we're diving into exoteric ceremonies and what they represent within our Masonic journey. The first degree ritual is really about introducing candidates to fundamental symbolism and moral teachings. It's the initial step where we emphasize personal growth and the importance of seeking truth and wisdom, all within the context of brotherhood. It's like laying a solid foundation for what's to come. Moving on to the second degree ritual, we see a focus on moral and intellectual development. This step symbolizes moving from darkness into light, literally and figuratively. It's about deepening our understanding of Masonic teachings and strengthening our personal enlightenment. Finally, the third degree ritual touches on themes of death and rebirth. This isn't just about mortality, it's about personal transformation. It signifies a rebirth into a higher state of knowledge and understanding, pushing us further along the path of philosophical and spiritual growth. Altogether, these ceremonies are more than rituals. They're symbolic milestones guiding us toward greater wisdom and brotherhood. They connect closely to the overarching theme of seeking truth and continual self-improvement within Freemasonry. Let's take a closer look at mysticism in Freemasonry. Throughout its history, Freemasonry has incorporated elements of mysticism, which are spiritual or esoteric beliefs that seek to uncover hidden truths about the universe and human existence. These mystical ideas often emphasize personal enlightenment, inner transformation, and a connection to something greater than ourselves. What's particularly interesting is how these mystical concepts are woven into Masonic rituals and symbolism, creating a shared spiritual language among members. This connection to mysticism highlights the broader theme of seeking knowledge beyond the physical realm, which is central to understanding the deeper purpose of Freemasonry. By exploring these mystical elements, we can better appreciate how Freemasonry aims to foster moral and spiritual growth, encouraging members to pursue enlightenment on their own journey. So, in essence, mysticism in Freemasonry isn't just about secret knowledge. It's about inspiring individuals to seek a higher understanding and connection with the divine. Let's explore what we mean by defining mysticism within Freemasonry. Mysticism in Freemasonry has deep roots that trace back to ancient spiritual traditions. It draws on elements from Hermeticism, Kabbalah, and Gnosticism, all of which have shaped the fraternity's esoteric practices and symbolic interpretations. These traditions have contributed rich layers of meaning to Masonic rituals and teachings. Moving on, in Freemasonry, mysticism emphasizes inner experience and personal spiritual transformation. It encourages members to look beyond the surface of traditional rituals and symbols, seeking deeper truths and insights. This approach fosters a sense of inner enlightenment and helps members connect with universal spiritual principles. Furthermore, this mystical aspect influences the rituals and teachings by promoting spiritual growth and a profound understanding of the universe. It's about personal development through symbolism and inner exploration, guiding members on their path to enlightenment. By understanding these core ideas, we see how mysticism enriches Freemasonry, tying together historical roots, key concepts, and its ongoing influence on the fraternity's spiritual journey. Now, let's explore how Freemasonry's symbols carry deep, often concealed meanings. These symbols act as gateways to inner mystical truths, inviting us to reflect and seek personal enlightenment. When we delve into their significance, we're encouraged to look beyond the surface and understand the deeper messages they hold. Moving on, the role of intuition and inner experience in Freemasonry is crucial. They serve as guides on our personal journey, helping us unlock mystical truths through self-discovery. This process fosters a stronger connection with the universal spirit, making our spiritual path more meaningful and profound. Inner exploration within Freemasonry often involves practices like meditation, contemplative rituals, and interpreting symbols in light of Masonic teachings. These methods help us develop greater self-awareness and facilitate personal transformation. They're about looking inward and gaining insights that can elevate us on our spiritual journey. Ultimately, these inner mystical truths are not just abstract concepts. They're keys to understanding ourselves and our place in the universe. By engaging with these symbols and practices, we open ourselves to deeper wisdom and enlightenment, aligning with the overarching theme of seeking truth and self-realization. Let's take a closer look at symbolism in Freemasonry. Freemasonry is rich with symbols that carry deep meanings and serve as tools for teaching moral and philosophical lessons. These symbols are not just decorative. They are designed to evoke reflection and personal growth. For example, the square and compasses are perhaps the most recognizable symbols, representing morality and the importance of balancing one's actions. The symbolic use of light, such as the idea of illumination, signifies knowledge, enlightenment, and the pursuit of truth. Other symbols, like the apron, symbolize purity and the labor of building one's character, much like a craftsman working with his tools. It's fascinating how these symbols are woven into rituals and teachings, creating a shared language that connects members across generations. Overall, symbolism in Freemasonry reflects its core themes of moral development, enlightenment, and brotherhood. Recognizing and understanding these symbols helps us appreciate the depth and richness of the tradition. They serve as visual reminders of the virtues and principles that guide Freemasons in their personal and communal lives. Now, let's explore the importance of symbolism within Freemasonry. Symbolism acts as a vital communication tool, allowing members to share complex ideas and core values through visual metaphors. These symbols can be interpreted on multiple levels, which helps deepen understanding and strengthen the bonds among members. When we look at the layers of meaning in these symbols, we see that they often reveal deeper spiritual truths. They serve as guides for personal growth, supporting members on their transformative journeys through both the mystical and exoteric aspects of Freemasonry. And it's fascinating how these symbols are more than just images. They are tangible representations of profound philosophical concepts. This allows members to interpret moral lessons, personal development, and spiritual enlightenment that go far beyond their surface appearance. Overall, the symbolism in Freemasonry isn't just decorative. It's a powerful language that enriches our understanding and connection, helping us navigate our spiritual and moral paths more consciously. Let's take a moment to explore some of the key symbols and their mystical meanings in Freemasonry. First, we have the square and compass. These tools are more than just working implements. They symbolize the balance between the physical and spiritual realms. They remind us of the importance of morality, self-control, and the ongoing pursuit of enlightenment. When we see these symbols, we're reminded that our journey is about aligning our moral compass with higher truths. Next is the letter G. This symbol stands for both God and geometry. It highlights the divine presence woven into the fabric of the universe and emphasizes the significance of mathematics as a fundamental element in creation. Geometry, after all, is the language through which the divine order is expressed, guiding us toward understanding moral and cosmic harmony. Finally, we have the all-seeing eye. This eye represents divine providence and spiritual enlightenment. It's a powerful reminder that a higher power is always watching over us, encouraging us to act responsibly and morally, both individually and collectively. When we see this symbol, we're reminded of our duty to uphold integrity and seek higher wisdom. Together, these symbols reinforce the core themes of Freemasonry: balance, divine presence, moral responsibility, and they serve as guides on our journey toward enlightenment. Let's explore the contrast between exoteric and esoteric practices. Exoteric practices are generally outward, public, and accessible to everyone. They tend to focus on the external rituals and teachings that are meant to be understood by the broader community. In contrast, esoteric practices are more inward, hidden, or secret. They often require deeper initiation or understanding and are aimed at a more personal, inner transformation. Highlighting this distinction helps us see how spiritual traditions can serve different purposes, some focusing on community and shared knowledge, others on individual enlightenment. Recognizing this contrast enriches our overall understanding of how these practices fit into the larger spiritual landscape. Let's talk about the dual nature of Freemasonry, which is often seen through two main lenses: the exoteric and the esoteric perspectives. The exoteric side is all about outward rituals and engaging with the community. Think of it as the visible, shared practices that bring members together. On the other hand, the esoteric side dives deeper into inner knowledge and personal transformation, revealing those richer spiritual truths that lie beneath the surface. Now, it's important to see how these two aspects fit together. The exoteric practices focus on public rituals and promoting community values, which help build a sense of brotherhood and tradition. Meanwhile, the esoteric practices are more about individual spiritual growth and uncovering hidden teachings, those deeper insights that guide personal development. Sometimes, these approaches may seem to diverge, but they also complement each other, creating a balanced framework. And that balance is really key. Exoteric practices give us that communal connection and a sense of shared tradition, while esoteric practices offer personal spiritual depth. When we find harmony between the two, it enriches our overall Masonic experience, helping us grow both collectively and individually. This dual approach is at the heart of Freemasonry's enduring appeal and its capacity to foster meaningful personal and collective transformation. Now, let's explore some practical implications for Masons, focusing on understanding duality in our practices. Exoteric practices are the more visible, accessible rituals and teachings that we often share publicly. They help us connect with the community and understand the foundational principles of Freemasonry. On the other hand, esoteric practices are deeper, more hidden, delving into symbolism and inner meanings that enrich our personal growth. Recognizing this duality allows us to appreciate how both aspects complement each other and deepen our Masonic journey. Moving on, navigating Masonic teachings requires us to balance these two approaches. Exoteric practices, such as public rituals and community service, foster a sense of unity and shared purpose. Meanwhile, esoteric teachings guide us inward, encouraging personal reflection and spiritual insight. This inner work helps us understand ourselves better and enhances our connection to the fraternity's deeper wisdom. By embracing both, we ensure our growth is both outwardly engaged and inwardly meaningful. Finally, embracing both approaches offers significant benefits. It broadens our understanding of Masonry, making us more well-rounded members. It fosters stronger bonds within the fraternity as we share in both public rituals and private reflections. Most importantly, it promotes a balanced path, one that nurtures personal development while strengthening our collective bonds. In essence, integrating these dual aspects is vital for truly living the principles of Freemasonry and advancing our personal and spiritual evolution. Let's take a moment to talk about some common myths and misconceptions. Often, we encounter ideas that seem convincing, but aren't actually backed by facts. It's important to identify these false beliefs because they can hinder progress or lead us in the wrong direction. For example, many people think that a quick fix or a single solution will solve complex issues, but in reality, meaningful change requires sustained effort and a clear understanding of the underlying factors. Recognizing these myths helps us stay focused on evidence-based strategies and ensures we're making informed decisions. Remember, challenging misconceptions is a crucial part of advancing our overall goals and staying true to the facts. Let's take a moment to clarify some common misunderstandings about Freemasonry. First, there's the idea that secrecy in Freemasonry is meant to foster suspicion. Actually, the secrecy primarily exists to protect our personal growth and create a sacred space where members can learn and connect on a deeper level without outside interference. Next, many people see Freemasonry as elitist, but what we emphasize is personal development, community service, and brotherhood. It's not about exclusivity or status, it's about inclusivity and supporting each other regardless of background. Lastly, there's often a misinterpretation of our symbols. Some think they're just decorative, but in reality, these symbols carry profound moral and philosophical lessons. They're tools to teach us deeper truths about ourselves and the world. Understanding these points helps us see Freemasonry not as some secret, distant organization, but as a community dedicated to growth, service, and shared values. Let's take a moment to address some common misconceptions about Freemasonry. First, many people think that rituals are purely mystical or supernatural in nature. But in reality, these rituals are more about education. They help us develop moral character and deepen our understanding of Masonic principles, rather than focusing on mystical experiences. Next, there's the idea that Freemasonry is exclusive, but actually, it's much more inclusive. It's not just about formal membership, it's about embracing different beliefs and backgrounds. We aim to create a community where all perspectives are valued and respected, fostering a truly welcoming environment. Finally, regarding mystical experiences, some see them as solely spiritual. But often, these experiences are used as psychological tools, helping us grow personally and gain insight. They blend esoteric knowledge with practical life lessons, making our journey both meaningful and applicable to everyday challenges. Connecting these points to our overall theme, it's clear that Freemasonry is about growth, inclusion, and understanding, beyond misconceptions and superficial ideas. Let's take a closer look at the experience of the modern Mason. In this part of the presentation, I want to highlight how the role of a Mason has evolved over time. Modern Masons are not just craftsmen, they are also problem solvers, innovators, and collaborators. They work with advanced tools and technology, which allows for greater precision and efficiency. But at the core, the fundamental values remain the same: dedication, skill, and integrity. Understanding this evolution helps us appreciate the importance of adapting and growing within the craft, while still honoring tradition. This connects to our overall theme of progress and mastery in the field. Let's talk about some of the current trends shaping Freemasonry today. One notable trend is the increasing interest in mysticism. Modern Masons are often drawn to exploring deeper spiritual understanding and personal transformation. This reflects a shift towards delving into esoteric knowledge, seeking meaning beyond the traditional practices. Another important development is the rise of online Masonic communities. These digital platforms enable Masons from around the world to connect, share ideas, and exchange experiences. This not only helps foster a sense of brotherhood across borders, but also bridges the gap between traditional methods and modern practices within Freemasonry. Finally, education continues to play a vital role. Today's Masons are engaged in programs that promote critical thinking and personal growth. These educational initiatives help members gain a more profound understanding of both the esoteric teachings, the hidden, symbolic aspects, and the exoteric or outward principles of the fraternity. Together, these trends highlight how Freemasonry is evolving, embracing new ideas while maintaining its core values, making it more relevant and accessible in today's world. Let's talk about encouraging a deeper understanding within our Masonic journey. One effective way to do this is through workshops and study groups. These gatherings create a space where members can explore the core principles of Freemasonry more thoroughly, especially its esoteric teachings. By engaging in these discussions, we can better understand how to apply these lessons in our daily lives. It's important to recognize that many modern Masons tend to focus mainly on the social rituals, which, while valuable, can sometimes overshadow the spiritual growth aspects of our path. But embracing the spiritual side is essential for a well-rounded Masonic experience, helping us connect more deeply with the esoteric roots of our fraternity. To support this exploration, I encourage everyone to look into various resources, books, online courses, and forums that delve into Masonic history, symbolism, and philosophy. These tools can help us understand the intricate relationship between mysticism and exotericism in Freemasonry, enriching our understanding and practice. Ultimately, fostering this deeper insight not only benefits us individually, but also strengthens the collective spirit of our lodge and our ongoing journey of enlightenment. Let's wrap up with some final thoughts. In this conclusion, I want to emphasize the key points we've discussed today. We've explored how understanding the core concepts is essential for applying them effectively. Remember, the most important takeaway is to connect these ideas to the bigger picture, seeing how they fit into the overall theme of our presentation. By doing so, you'll be better equipped to implement what you've learned and make a meaningful impact. Thank you for your attention, and I hope this has been both insightful and inspiring. Let's take a moment to reflect on the key points we've discussed. The dual nature of Freemasonry is truly fascinating because it combines both mystical insights and exoteric practices. This means that at its core, Freemasonry encourages us to seek deeper spiritual understanding while also honoring outward traditions and rituals. These two aspects, when understood together, create a richer and more meaningful journey for each Mason. Understanding both mysticism and exotericism is crucial because it enhances our personal growth and helps us connect more deeply with the fraternity's traditions. It's not just about performing rituals or learning symbols. It's about integrating spiritual insights into our daily lives. The journey of a Mason, therefore, is a balance. It involves exploring mystical concepts that often go beyond the surface and applying practical, outward practices that build community and character. This balance reveals profound spiritual insights that can sometimes be overlooked, but they are essential for true growth. Ultimately, embracing both sides, mystical and exoteric, fosters not only individual development, but also strengthens our bonds within the fraternity. It's this holistic approach that makes the Masonic journey so enriching and transformative. Let's look at the future directions for Freemasonry. Moving forward, there's a real opportunity to deepen our engagement with mystical teachings. This means fostering spiritual development among members and enhancing our understanding of esoteric principles, which can lead to both personal growth and stronger communities. One key aspect is encouraging ongoing dialogue about the balance between mysticism and exotericism. By having open conversations, we can explore our personal spiritual journeys more fully within the fraternity. It's about creating a space where members feel comfortable delving into these profound topics and sharing insights. Additionally, I encourage all Masons to explore mystical practices more deeply, finding a balance between esoteric knowledge, the hidden, mystical side, and our outward traditions can inspire new interpretations and fresh perspectives. This ongoing exploration keeps our fraternity vibrant and evolving. Ultimately, these directions aim to inspire new explorations in Freemasonry, helping us grow both individually and collectively, while staying true to our core principles. It's about embracing the mystical as a vital part of our spiritual and communal journey. Thank you all for being here today. I want to take a moment to sincerely thank everyone who contributed and supported this project. Your dedication and effort truly made this possible. I especially want to acknowledge the Masonic Audiobook Library for their invaluable support and collaboration. It's been inspiring to see how our combined efforts have brought this vision to life. Remember, every contribution counts and helps us move closer to our shared goals. Once again, thank you all for your support and engagement throughout this journey.